How much do sellers usually come down in price on a house? Hi, I'm Paul R. Atkinson, and today we're going to talk about what should you expect for a seller to do in reduction of the price on the listing. What should you expect? How much should you expect them to really come down? And what are some of the things that you can do to help that seller to reduce the price of the home to make the deal go forward? Before we get started, remember, in the description, you're going to find the tools that you could use in order to build your business and be successful. And definitely subscribe to us right now and just stay in touch. We appreciate you being here. So I'm going to answer the question, right? And the question is, hey, Paul, how much does the seller usually come down in their list price? So let's say, for example, you've got a seller that's listed, let's use something normal, right? Or let's say average, right? South Florida right now, average is probably, I don't know, 400,000. That's still a lot, right? But someone is listed for 400,000. Well, first of all, in our marketplace right now, that's gonna call for a lot of offers. So let's take it up a little bit more as we go. Let's say that you have a property listed for $750,000, and you're dealing with the seller, and it's not really moving. It's been listed there for 30 days, right? It's not moving. The first thing I want to tell you is that when you took that listing and when you started to build this relationship with the seller, you should have already put in place what we call a price reduction plan. So when you took the listing, you would say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I want you to know we're going to enter the market in this price range, which is what you want to see, right? But after 1 week or 2 weeks, if we don't get any showings at all, would you agree right now that we would come down by 5,000 or 3,000? What do you feel comfortable with? You see, that is how I inspire my sellers to move forward, because you have to educate them. If you are on the market right now and you're not getting any showings, but yet we have a great write-up. I mean, it's written very nice description. It talks about the details of the home, granite countertop, impact windows, blah, 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 blah. Plus, you have great professional photographs. So that's 1 plus 2. And there's pretty much everything is on point. And there are no bites. The showings are like 1, 2 a week. You need more showings, wouldn't you say? And the way to do that is to just bring that price down to match what's going on in the marketplace. Because perhaps when you took the listing, the price is above the market value at the moment. And sometimes that can happen. As long as you're educating the client when you're sitting with them, that when they enter the market at a higher price above the market conditions, you could be sitting there for a while. And you should have some kind of price reduction plan in place. So the question is, how and when is it usual for the seller to reduce their price? Well, when there's no activity, when you're not getting any bites, and when the seller wants to sell now, not later. You know, you might have a seller that says, hey, look, you know what? I'm going to put it at this price, and I can wait for X amount of time. I'm not in a rush. But there's going to come that day when the sense of urgency, if it's not there in the beginning, increase for that seller, and they're going to want to move quickly. And when you do so, then you should definitely match it up. If it's not already, it should be where the market price is or below. And you can educate the client, the seller, in doing that by creating some kind of price reduction plan. How do you move them forward past this? And who is they that I'm talking about? I'm talking about the sellers. How do we get the sellers to move forward? Listen to me carefully. I've said it. Education. educating them on what's going on in the marketplace, showing them with facts, bringing your laptop to or your tablet to their dining room table and going over the active sales, the pending sales, the closed sales, and showing them the difference between all three of those, and letting them know that when an appraiser comes in, they're going to be basing the value of the home on the closed sales, not the active sales and pending sales. Everyone needs to know that. Education is the key, and that's what you do to help the seller to move forward in the most positive way. And we wanted to talk today about how much do sellers usually come down on a house. And that is exactly the right way to think about it, is thinking about how they see the market themselves. How does the seller see it? And if you're there to help the sellers to come down on their price, then you definitely need to do what? Educate them. And a seller will come down as much as they need to and as much as they can tolerate. Because remember, at the end of the day, the seller has to pay all their bills, including your fees. So we have to keep that in mind. And a good way to look at it is what we call like a seller net sheet. When you complete that seller net sheet with them, that shows them the amount of money that they will be receiving after all of the commissions, the fees, the closing costs, paying off the mortgages and all of that. And when they have that number in the beginning, and they know that, well, we listed it for 750,000, and then after expenses I should get 700,000, right? From there, they have that in their mind. All right, 700,000 if they have a mortgage minus 200,000, leave them with 500,000. It goes on and on. That's how it's broken down. But when they have this 500 in their hand, in their hearts, if you're going to change that and say, hey, we should reduce the price by 10,000, then they should realize and they should know that basically you're just going to have a little bit, $10,000 less in your pocket. But what is that going to do for you, Mr. Seller, Mrs. Seller? It will take you on to your next thing in mind. The next thing that you're going to do. Buy a new home, relocate, downsize, upsize, doesn't matter. And that's the most important part, to know how much does a seller usually come down in a house. Remember, in the description, click on the link that's going to help you to be more successful in your business. And until next time, please remember to give this a like and a thumbs up, obviously, a like, and to subscribe. So join us, right? And thank you for being here. Once again, all of our folks in the community, you know how I feel about you. Thank you so much. Until next time, let's go get them playing. I'll see you real soon.